if I can say something before the Q&A.
Yes.
Some weeks ago, you told us, the French devotees, to translate AA 77.
Yes.
And we have a first-class translator who is doing it at the present moment.
Wow, that's very good success, huh?
And it is going slowly but surely, and we will also want to print it, and we know how to do it. So this is current job.
Very good. I'm very pleased with this result.
Jat Prabhu ki jai.
It will change many people's life.
Mm.
And if you also can get some subtitling done for these videos that we have in English, yeah, we also a big asset, you know. You can put the
You mean?
French subtitles, huh?
Okay.
I think that's easy to do because they have so many softwares for that kind of thing, you know. Because in the French world, they're not so sure about what's going on, no?
This one.
You need to educate many people about what actually Prabhupada wanted, no?
This one.
All these people at 77 years old falling down and see what kind of product they are actually, you know.
Prabhu,
Yes.
can I please ask, the prayers that we read before we start, do we only read them when a session is about to start, or you can chant them anytime?
Well, usually before we recite the book, you know, we chant these prayers, you know. Or before we give a class, we chant these prayers. Usually before giving a class, you know.
Oh, yes, yes.
Prabhupada also does that, you know.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Okay,
So
Prabhu.
important to So that's very important to pay our respect to all the, you know, exalted devotees and the acharyas. In that way we invoke their blessings, you know.
Oh, yes, yes, Prabhu.
So that's the whole program, you know. It says that one should worship the spiritual master and, you know.
Oh, because usually I used to chant them at night. I used to chant them at night without knowing.
See this thing?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Should I read it?
Yeah, you can read.
The pure devotee should execute devotional service by giving the greatest respect to the spiritual master and the acharyas. He should be compassionate, or just tell the Prabhu.
So you understand, this is the purpose of our spiritual life, you know. We should always learn how to be very humble and respectful to the spiritual master and the acharyas. Only by their blessings we can make any advancement.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
You understand?
I understand, Prabhu.
So without imbibing this quality, it's very difficult to make advancement. And
Oh,
that's
yes,
what's
yes.
happening. You can see in ISKCON, they have disobeyed Prabhupada, and it has created havoc in their lives.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
So we should not make this mistake, you know, trying to minimize Prabhupada and the acharyas.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Especially when you offend the spiritual master, then all bad qualities will develop in you.
Yes, yes.
Especially material desires, like having so many, like what's happening to this Swamiji, you know, you see, he fell down.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
The same thing happened to Ramachandra Puri. He offended Madhavendra Puri, and as a result, he became an impersonalist. So you see,
Yes,
it's very dangerous, you know. Krishna will not tolerate that, you know.
Yes, yes,
Anyone offends his devotee is like offending him, no?
yes, yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam, please accept my beloved senses, all praise to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes. So we will chant the prayer. Someone wants to volunteer for this?
Debahang Prabhu, do you want to chant? Because you have
Yeah,
learned.
it's fine. I can chant them. Can I start?
Yes, Prabhu.
You can start.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjala Shalakaya. Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadantisva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagachatam Sahagana Raguna Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanam Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vitam Kampitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namastute Tap Tap Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamare Hare Priye Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha paritanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha nama om vishnu padaya krishna prasthaya bhutale shrimate bhaktivedanta swami niti namine namaste saraswati devi gauravani pracharine nirvishesha shunyavadi paschatare shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Who is the host today?
Manu, isn't it Manu or Semi?
Manu Prabhu.
Manu is the host, huh?
Oh, but he seems like he disconnected.
Oh, he's disconnected. So, okay, whoever
Also,
has a quick.
Priti Gauranga Prabhu just arrived now. Dandat Pranam, Jai Shila Prabhupada. So I think he will be the host.
Okay. So, anybody has any questions in the meantime?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
I have two questions actually.
Yes.
My first question is, what should we say when we preach to people to distribute them books? So do you have some things like which will be nice to say to people? And second question, if you have any story of book distribution you could share with us, I think it would be nice to encourage us.
The technique that we use is that usually we don't speak about the books, you know. We stop someone on the street because they're really on the move, they won't stop, you know. So what we do, we give the book to them and say, this is for you, you know. So the person takes the book because everybody think it is free, you know. So when you give him the book, you don't take it back, you know, just let him hold the book. And that means you have stopped him. That's you speak. Usually what we say is that we are asking a donation for this, you know, because we are doing all these programs of feeding people and, you know, giving this knowledge. And If you like to help us out, please give us a donation. The book costs about so much, and if you can chip in, that'll be very nice. So that's the line that we use. Of course, if someone asks questions spiritually, then that's another thing, you see. But usually, very rare. So our idea is to get out as many books as we can, you see. Because if you spend so much time talking to somebody, then that time is wasted for him alone, no? And usually Prabhupada told us, what's the use of your 3-minute preaching? Because we are not so pure anyway like him, and that's why the books are so important. So if the person gives a donation, you most likely will not throw the book away, see? He will take it with him. So that's the technique that we learned how to do book distribution. It's not practical to go there and talk about the books. Nobody is interested in the book. You understand? And plus, if they come
Yes.
from different kind of backgrounds, they are the least interested. So our idea is to just stop them and try to get a donation for some of our welfare work.
Yes, Prabhu.
That's the line that at least I learned that. And I think it was very effective when I went to Russia this time. They also started using these lines and they got many books out. So if you
Okay, thank
can
you.
try that out, you go and then you stop the people by giving the book first in their hand. And when they hold it in their hand, then you just say these lines. This
Yes,
is
Prabhu.
find that it was very effective. You can try.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
I'm forced to do a lot of materialistic. What is this question? So many questions. Prabhu, I cannot speak today as well, but I have a few questions. How do we know we have offended a pure devotee? And how do we rectify this? Right. So how do we know we have offended a pure devotee? The first thing that happens is that you lose your momentum and taste for chanting. That's a symptom of offense. Our chanting nosedive. So we know that something is not right. So the best way to rectify is to always pray to all the devotees you can think of that you may have offended and mentally ask for forgiveness. Then again you will feel yourself, very enthused again. So that is the method that is most effective. Prabhu in TLC, Srila Prabhupada said to always remember a resident of Vrindavan. Does this mean to always remember Prabhupada? Yeah, Prabhupada is a resident of Vrindavan. You can always remember him, non-different. Sakshat Daritvena, he is non-different from the Lord. So you can always remember him, there's no harm. Right? Actually, right now, these things all will come to us gradually. For now, the best thing is to chant and hear the chanting. And that is the best thing to do now, to chant and to hear the chanting. And eventually all this reciprocation will come manifest in your heart as you make more spiritual advancement. It's not something that you start dreaming about, manufacturing in your mind, mentally trying to kind of speculate. So that's not the system. It's because these are all revelations. It is not something that we try to imagine. You want to read this? There's nobody there. Can someone help read this?
Yes, bro.
Can I read?
Anyone can read, please.
Please read.
Can I read it, Prabhu?
Yeah, please read.
Anything expressed by material vibrations, anything ascertained by material intelligence, and anything experienced by the material senses, or concocted within the material mind, is but an effect of the modes of material nature, and therefore has nothing to do with the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is beyond the creation of this material world, for he is the source of the material qualities and creation. As the cause of all causes, he exists before the creation and after the creation. I wish to offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
But this is the position, is it? As you make spiritual advancement, then these things will automatically manifest, you know. Want to read on?
By chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord, one comes to the stage of love of Godhead. Then the devotee is fixed in his vow as an eternal servant of the Lord, and he gradually becomes very much attached to a particular name and form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As his heart melts with ecstatic love, he laughs very loudly, or cries or shouts. Sometimes he sings and dances like a madman, for he is indifferent to public opinion.
You understand? So these things eventually will come when you develop attraction for chanting the name of the Lord. So not some kind of artificial thing that suddenly you imagine that you are now one of the gopis and dancing around, you know. It's not the way. Krishna will reveal to us our eternal position and he comes by stages. Yes, everybody is very eager to establish their relationship with Krishna, but this has to come by chanting, you know. Main thing is the chanting now and the hearing. Can you read this?
After chanting the holy name of the Lord and dancing in ecstasy, one gradually sees the form of the Lord, the pastimes of the Lord, and the transcendental qualities of the Lord. This way, one fully understands the. Can you, Prabhuji, please scroll down a bit? This way, one fully understands the situation of the personality of Godhead.
You understand this? The chanting is the essence, no? That's why we say Ataha Sri Krishna Nama Adi, beginning from the name, the chanting, the holy name, then the form, then the qualities, then the pastimes, the paraphernalia, one thing after the other. So it is not that today you heard about chanting and tomorrow you want to be dancing with the gopis, you know. That's a bit difficult. Eh? Yes? Is that understood?
Prabhu.
I am forced to do a lot of materialistic studies since I'm still under my parents. How do I ensure I don't get distracted by such useless activities? So, okay, the main thing is that you try to follow instruction of Prabhupada by waking up early and chanting your rounds and as far as possible taking Krishna Prasadam. And if you do that, you will be protected, by the mercy of Prabhupada. So, other questions? Every time I see a girl in school, so this is the problem. That's why in a study we don't have any girls around. Brahmachari, Gurukule. We stay in the ashram of the Guru, then he doesn't have this problem. But if you go to this kind of schools where they are co-education, they put the boys and girls in together, and the girls are naturally looking at the boys, and the boys are looking at the girls. This is the problem. So as a result, there's natural attraction for one another. So unless you understand that they are also spirit souls and servants of Krishna, you can become very much illusioned. So therefore, to overcome this, best is that you try to remember Krishna's instructions, and you try to meditate on them. This way, if you chant properly in the morning, and if you take Krishna Prasadam, then there's a good chance that you can stay strong. But if you don't do this kind of activities, spiritual activities, then your mind will gradually become weak. Because by meditating on sense object, attraction develops, no? That's there in the Bhagavad Gita. That's how the mind
The 62.
implicated. So Krishna says here, meditating on the sense object. While contemplating the objective senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops. From lust, anger arises. See? From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence lost, and intelligence lost, one fall down again into the material pool. So you see, this is exactly what happens when a person deviates from Krishna consciousness. So you see how dangerous it is to let the mind rove. The mind is always roving, when always attracted to sense gratification, no? So a devotee is to be very careful. Uh, yes. The mind of one meditating upon the object of sense gratification is certainly entangled in such objects. But if one constantly remembers me, then the mind is absorbed in me. Yes. Therefore, one should reject all material process of elevation which are like the mental creation of a dream. And one should completely absorb one's mind in me. By constantly thinking of me, one becomes purified. Hmm? Yes. Hmm? When conscious of the eternal self, one should give up associating with women and those intimately associated with women. Sitting fearlessly in a solitary place, one should concentrate the mind on me with great attention. Of all kinds of sufferings and bondage arising from various attachment, none is greater than the suffering and bondage arising from attachment to woman or from an intimate contact with those attached to woman. So you see, this is the instruction from the Lord. So we should try to always hear these instructions in our mind, keep them in the heart, and whenever we go through all this so-called disturbance, we should try to meditate on all these instructions. That way we will again get back our composure and our strength. But if you don't, then it'll be a big problem. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, if you don't hear me, you will be lost. So at least this much we know, that if some or other I can think of Krishna, then I will be, safe. So how is the best way to think of Krishna? That's to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the method. But if you keep looking and looking, so naturally your mind will be carried away. Yes. So one should be very careful. Especially if someone doesn't do this morning program, then the mode of passion will become very much, powerful. In that way, the mode of passion, as Krishna says, Kamayesha, Krodesha, Rajaguna, Samudbhaha. The moment we get involved, implicated in the mode of passion and ignorance, then the first thing we get attracted is to the side of the woman. Yes, the symptom. Yes. So it's how dangerous it is, That's why Krishna said this mode of passion is the enemy. One who has failed to control his senses immediately feels attraction upon seeing a woman's form, which is created by the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. Indeed, when the woman speaks with enticing words, smiles coquettishly, and moves her body sensuously, his mind is immediately captured, and thus he falls blindly into the darkness of material existence, just as a moth maddened by the fire rushes blindly into its flames. Yes, this is what happens. That's why we need to have a very strong spiritual program, morning sadhana. A foolish man with no discrimination is immediately arose at the sight of a beautiful woman, beautifully decorated, sight of a woman beautifully decorated with golden ornaments, fine clothing, and other accoutrements. When eager for sense gratification, such a fool loses all intelligence and is destroyed just like a moth rushing into a blazing fire. So this is the consequence. So we should be very careful. That's why it's very important to have a very strong spiritual program. Otherwise our mind will become enslaved. Hmm? Yes? So, what is my duty? First of all, our number one duty is to chant. That is the number one duty. And other things will gradually evolve from that. Especially in Kali Yuga, all of us are born as Sudras. So our duty is to serve. That is pretty much for everybody. So the best way is to now try to understand that our number one duty is to serve God by chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is our real duty. Jivere Swarupo Hoy Krishna Re Nitya Das. We are eternally servant of Krishna. So what is the best duty that we can offer? Our best duty is to surrender to Him and chant His holy name. That's the number one duty. Everything else will come gradually. Yes? My question is, we know that the taste of Krishna consciousness, but why we again indulge in the man-female relation or sanscarification? So this question was also asked by Arjuna, why is it that we are compelled to sins, although knowingly we are committing them? And Krishna explained, because of the word of passion and ignorance. Krishna explained that. Hmm? So Krishna explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead said it is last only Arjuna which is born of the contact with the mode of passion and later transformed into breath, and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. Hmm? So we have to therefore purify ourselves. That's why the whole program of waking up in the morning, tending Mangalarti, chanting your rounds, these are very essential to keep us in the mode of transcendental goodness. That way we won't become implicated. If you don't do it, then you're going to go down to the mode of passion, and then that's it. The mind will get so much contaminated, and before too long, we have fallen down. So we should be very careful. As it is, we already fell down and we have come here again to the material world. And now we have taken again different bodies. Are we prepared to carry on this? Huh? Definitely we will not agree to that. So I have been having trouble forgiving a devotee who offended me, and then I offended them back. How to come out of this cycle? So the best way is to pay your obeisances. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So that is the prayer that I should do by paying our obeisances. That will rectify this cursing and counter cursing. You know? The moment we chant, remembering Krishna and humbling up, then Krishna will take care of this. You learn how to see Krishna in the heart of the person. Then we will become free from this attitude of becoming envious, you know. Yes. If we don't do this, then there's a good chance that we will be, especially if someone is asking forgiveness and you don't reciprocate, that becomes an offense by itself, you know.
Prabhu, I
Yeah.
have a question related to that. There is one personality in Ramayana where the king offended a rishi, and the rishi, he did not want to forgive him. And when the king realized that he made an offense, he went to try to ask for forgiveness, but the rishi, he hid himself. Would you say like he also received some sort of offense from that? I forgot the names, but it was in the Ramayana.
Well, the best thing to do is to just pay obeisances, you know. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
That's why we have to become lower than the straw in the street, more tolerant than the tree, offering respect to everybody. In this way, we can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Especially in Kali Yuga, all people are very proud, you know. They very hesitant to bow down to Krishna, the devotees. So we should not go into that. If someone is genuinely reciprocating and asking forgiveness, we should likewise, you know. Otherwise, we will also be swept away.
Yes, Prabhu. But we're still practicing that Trinada Peace and Nichana. How do we know if it's artificial, if we do artificially forgive and forget, something like that? Prabhu, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just asking about the forgiveness aspect, because it's hard for devotees to forgive sometimes because we're neophytes and we have natural envy. So should we just take it as some sort of austerity?
I want to read this.
Hare Krishna. The strong bodily desires and needs of a person disturbed by hunger and thirst are certainly satisfied when he eats. Similarly, if one becomes very angry, that anger is satisfied by chastisements and its reactions. Or as for greed, even if a greedy person has conquered all directions of the world or has enjoyed everything in the world, still he will not be satisfied. Wow. Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
You can read this.
That's true. By making plans with determination, one should give up lusty desires for sense gratification. Similarly, by giving up envy, one should conquer anger. By discussing disadvantages of accumulating wealth, one should give up greed. And by discussing truth, one should give up fear. Wow.
Yes.
Yes. By discussing spiritual knowledge, one can conquer limitation and illusion. By serving a great devotee, one can become prideless. By becoming silent, one can avoid obstacles on the path of mystic yoga. And simply by stopping sense gratification, one can conquer envy.
Is it clear?
Yes. Crystal clear.
So this is how we conquer envy. Right?
Yes. Hare Krishna, for any other devotees who came to the session, either later on or early on, you may ask some of your questions. So you can ask in an informal way also. So there's no
So his duty is to chant. My primary duty is chanting, but we also have to complete our material duties. Yeah, if you are going to school, then you finish your studies. Nobody say you shouldn't study, but the main thing is to chant, even if you are, whatever your position is. By chanting and getting purified, then all these material activities you are doing, you will also be able to overcome. Not that I have to do these things. These things are just because I've got the body. But once you reach the transcendental level, then you don't have to do all these other kind of duties. You can do spiritual duty. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who preaches this message is the topmost person, very dear to him. So why not try to do this, to become dear to Krishna? One who explains this secret to the devotees, pure devotional service guaranteed. At the end, he will come back to me. There's no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. So this should be our number one duty, to preach Krishna consciousness. Anything else is just secondary. Yes. What was Lord Brahma's 100-year tapasya out of the 9 process of Bhakti Yoga to please Lord Krishna in the beginning of creation? Lord Brahma was told to do austerity, so he practiced austerity by meditating on the Lord.
Yes.
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, remembering. Yes.
Yes.
Then does my study also come in Seva? May I see the studies is serving? Well, now you are a student, you have to study, but your number one duty is to do your spiritual duties, and study is your secondary duty. So you chant everything, and then you most of the time you are going to school and you have to study. Correct? But whenever you have some time, you try to preach and try to chant. Yes. One cannot be studying 24 hours a day, unless you are a very powerful personality. Yes. And if Krishna is giving you the remembrance, and if you try to glorify him, he says, I am sitting in the heart, I give you the knowledge, the remembrance, and the forgetfulness. So why not try to get the blessings of Krishna? Right? Can we say Krishna consciousness is a religion to non-devotees? Because immediately when I quote 1866, they get skeptical. They think of atheistic speculations. Well, the best way to teach new people, especially non-devotees, is to speak logically. That's how Prabhupada does. And he does not go to the point of 1866. He tried to explain to them that they are not the body, they are spirit souls. So you better try to present in that angle. And you can say this is a science. Prabhupada used to always say this is a science, because
Yes, Prabhu.
he was preaching to a lot of people who are non-devotees and coming from not the Vedic background, So of course, he's a pure devotee, so his method holds, Even Krishna also, first thing he started off in the Gita was to explain to Arjuna that he was not the body, So until they understand that they are not the body, no point you try to bring them to the Krishna conscious level first, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
So therefore it's best to follow the guidelines given by Srila Prabhupada, to speak to them more on this platform that you are not this body, you are spirit soul. And then explain how the size of the soul, then explain the size of God, Krishna, and how both of them are sitting in the heart. So like this, gradually you try to explain, rather than going to show the verse, 1866, you have to surrender to me, only, and that's going to turn people off because they are not prepared to surrender anyway. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. Any other questions?
So, Prabhu, I just wanted to know, is there a difference between Prabhuji and Prabhu? Because I hear some people call you Prabhuji.
Well, it's out of respect. They usually say Prabhuji and some say Prabhu. It doesn't mean same thing. In Hindi language, they always have the G in everybody's name, a
Okay, Prabhu.
form of respectfully addressing someone.
Oh, I thought it was the same as Swami and Swamiji.
It's the same thing, but it's more respect, when a person call him a Swamiji. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes. Prabhu.
But is it referring to the same thing?
Oh, Prabhu, the Swamiji is not the third class. Isn't it the third class? Something like a third class. I think I saw it somewhere.
Swamiji is a what?
Like a third class. It's not like Swami. I thought it was not like the same as saying Swami.
Yeah,
It
like
is a.
he's referring to like Swamiji being like lower in title. And Prabhupada was like saying, and Prabhupada, the name Prabhupada is like the highest, one of the highest titles.
Oh, yes, yes.
It is just that we like respectfully addressing, Swami and Swamiji. It's like more respect.
Oh, yes, yes, Prabhu.
And so that's the all in the language when you address someone very politely. Yes.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Anything else? Right. Nobody have any more questions?
Any more questions? Anyone? Also, we have Dr. Luke coming back from a long time. He was one of the devotees who was staying with me in Texas. So I'm glad that he came to visit.
Visit where? Visit you in
Krishna.
Philippines?
He visit in the Zoom session. He's still in America. I'm still here in the Philippines, but he's coming in contact with us. He's very nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes. Good morning, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, you have a question?
Not particularly. I was just going to listen in.
Listening. Yeah. So that's a good quality of listening.
Hare Krishna.
Well, actually, I do.
Hmm?
I do have a question, actually.
Please.
Yes. I've had a hard time, I guess, surrendering to devotional life. I was wondering why, some seem to take to it and some don't. Why do people seem to? Is it because I have demonic qualities, or I don't know. It just seems like I have times where I feel like I want to be spiritual, but there's other times it seems so completely unappealing to me. I want to, and so I've been struggling with that for some years. I'm 44 now, and I don't know if it's.
Oh, see, if you get association, then it's more easier to surrender. But if you don't have any association and you have to associate with non-devotees, then it will take a lot of, you need to have a lot of strength, to overcome a lot of temptation.
Yeah.
Because you're with
Yeah.
non-devotees and their habits and all that are kind of influencing the mind.
Yeah.
But if you have association of devotees, then the surrendering process is hastened, because you are in good association, you inculcate good habits and thinkings and everything. Not only that, with the association devotees, you will also be able to clear a lot of your doubts, and get
Mhm.
strength. See? That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stressed a lot about associating with devotees. If you don't
Do you
associate,
think? Sorry. Go ahead.
huh?
I did not mean to interrupt you. Sorry. Go ahead.
It degrades oneself to the platform of being an animal, if it doesn't associate with devotees. So it's so dangerous not to do that.
You
So
think association through social media is enough? That's all I'm able to. There's no temples around here.
yeah, so that is the problem. So we have a difficulty to have temples by our doorstep. So what
Mhm.
to do? So then we try to associate through the instruction of the spiritual master.
Yes.
That's why we have to learn how to take the instruction to our heart and soul. And that way we will get the strength also. So by hearing or by reading or by talking to devotees in some way and practicing, especially, chanting the rounds, you will get a lot of strength. Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah. I felt that strength sometimes when I after associated with devotees online. You feel refreshed and ready to double up your efforts.
Yes. So this
And
is
they quickly go away when you stop associating.
correct.
Yeah.
Moment you don't associate with devotees, then the mind again, because by the nature, the mind is always anti-God consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Very. Yeah.
Getting attracted to Maya. So therefore, we should try to overcome this by hearing, spiritual instructions and associating with devotees and talking to them. That's why one of the conditions of spiritual advancement is to reveal the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Why we have to reveal the mind? Because that will expose the mind's tendency. Yeah? And when we talk about it, then you will see how it is deluding us.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct. Correct. I know what you say is very true. I know.
Yes.
It's
Spiritual is all, spiritual life is simply association only.
yes.
Everybody becomes a devotee by associating. If someone doesn't associate, then it is very difficult.
Yeah, I agree with that. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Luke Prabhu, for your question.
Yes, thank you for that. That was really encouraging. I think I'll definitely keep in contact Manu and Prabhu
Yes.
and
You try as whenever you can, as much as you can.
yeah, it's a 12-hour difference between us. So, but we can keep in contact. I have other devotees that I used to talk to as well. I'll try to. Online is all I have, so definitely. I'm going to keep in contact there, buddy, and I want to pick back up the devotional life. So I feel my knee. I can feel the, my day. I go to work. I work at a gas station, and then I come home and I get on my computer or I play a video game. It's just like I feel like I'm slowly dying spiritually. I don't explain it, and sometimes I have some clarity of how much I'm wasting time in my life. My purpose in life is it's like sand going through my fingers. And I'm 44 at that, so I mean I'm not old, but I mean, how much time do I have left? To seek God while I'm here, and so I guess that's why I'm here. I just have a sense of urgency, a sense of I can't explain it. I'm sorry.
It's a fact, because when you are not in the association of devotees, then the mind will be attracted to, as I said, Maya,
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, we have that all in our hands, this phone. By the flick of the fingers, you have got so many things to carry the mind away. And not only that, it is so alluring that before you know it, hours are gone,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
very challenging, you see. So unless someone has got some association where you can talk to someone or, stay with someone, that's why Prabhupada actually wanted us to all, particularly, stay in the temple or near the temple, And
Yeah.
that has a lot of, shelter and safeguard.
Hmm.
So what to do? Because which state are you in?
Iowa.
Oh, I don't know if we have anybody there.
There once was IshKons. I guess it was somebody's house though, but I think they disbanded or.
No.
Well, it was years ago. But that's other than that, I mean, IshKon is the closest thing, and I know you guys aren't IshKon, but that's the closest. That's in Chicago, which is like 4 hours away.
I think we have a devotee. He's here, Amit Patel. Amit, what's his name?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvas Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you, Prabhuji.
You are near him, he's in. Are you near his place?
Prabhuji, I think Iowa is, Luke Prabhu is right. It's 4 hours drive from Wisconsin, where I am.
So
But
maybe you can invite him or you can go and see him or something.
I'm not too far from Wisconsin. It depends where you're at in Wisconsin.
Luke Prabhu, I'm at the border of Illinois and Wisconsin.
What's it called?
The city is Pleasant Prairie, Kenosha County.
Pleasant City, is that what you said?
Yeah, Pleasant Prairie, or the Kenosha. Let's say Kenosha. You will find out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
He can
share.
probably leave your number that he can, take, note, and then maybe he can call you also, or you can call him. That'll be nice.
Yeah,
Yes,
Prabhuji, I will just send my number in the chat, and you can save it, and then call me. We can plan to meet. I can invite over the weekend.
Yeah, you can go and have some prasadam together or something,
Sure. Yes, Prabhuji.
Go together to the park and chant Hare Krishna. That'll be very good,
Yeah, that'd be very nice.
Yes. Why not? Since you are 4 hours away, better than coming to Singapore, many millions of miles.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite far.
So anyways, you got somebody there, so try. Especially getting some prasadam and all that. That will be very much, strengthening each other spiritually.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yes, that'd be very nice.
So you try.
Yeah, I can drive. I got a car, yeah.
Yes, you try and see if you can reach him, both of you.
Yep.
Or he has left his number there. Maybe you can take note there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to look for the chats, but
yeah, you can start in that way first. Huh? How can I manage association with my non-devotee family? I try not to associate with my family because they do not support my practice, and I find it very difficult to preach to them because they make fun and are disrespectful, and they do not understand why I stay away. But they sometimes want to see me and visit. How to manage this, please? So the best way to manage this is to be courteous, because if you try to preach to them and if they are not receptive, then that is also not so good for them, no? It's like preaching to the faithless, you see. So you try to find the middle ground where you can at least, maybe you can cook some prasadam and they can come and take prasadam, or you can talk, in logical ways to drive some points in. I know it is very difficult, but you got to see how best you can, reach out to them by they not being offensive. Because if they become offensive, then their spiritual life is very much damaged, no? Correct?
Correct.
So one should be knowing how to do it. So the best way for such situation I would recommend is that if you bring another devotee to talk to them, another devotee will be most helpful to talk to them, and that way they will be, they'll be more receptive to listen. To preach to your relatives and all, that would be a better approach. Because to do it on ourselves, sometimes it's like hitting a blank wall, So therefore we have to learn how to use devotees for this purpose. So you try, bring a devotee home and let him do the talking. That'll be very good.
Yeah, that would be.
Who is this, Nina? Who is that? Oh, you don't know any other person in London? I think we have a few devotees there in London. Maybe someone can help. Huh? Someone can help give the address of from devotees in London. And they probably can reach out to her. Oh, you want to leave your number so that the devotees can reach you? That'll be nice. Yeah, she has left the number now. I would like to associate some other devotee and Mata, geez, my number is that. Okay, good. So any devotee can help her. Yes, so she is already in the Mataji group or something. So try to help her. Someone there can give some association. That'll be very nice. All right. So any other questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Priyanka from Austria. Again, my Dandavat Pranam to you, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Share my obeisances, all glories to Prabhupada. Yes.
Prabhuji, I read in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, where Krishna is instructing Uddhav, and he is telling him that actually the soul is never covered by material ingredients. I wish to understand this, please. If you could help me a little bit understanding this point.
Like oil and water, the soul cannot mix with material nature. You understand? Soul is spiritual and material energy is, because we are in there are three stages. One is the spiritual energy, one is the material energy, and we are in between marginal energy. So sometimes, as example is given, the water on the sea covers the shore, and sometimes the water is not covering the shore. So similarly like that. So if we become Krishna conscious, then material energy, the soul realizes its transcendental position, so he acts on the spiritual plane. But when he is not in the spiritual consciousness, so he acts in the material consciousness, then he gets covered momentarily by Maya. But actually the soul by nature is spiritual. It is not material. But depends on his consciousness. The moment he acts in material consciousness, then he is deemed as covered. But if he is liberated from that, then he comes to the spiritual consciousness, and then he is not touched by Maya. So the actual thing is that the soul is free from Maya. That is constitutional position. But because he's temporarily covered by Maya, so he loses his identity and forgets his position as servant of Krishna. You follow?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji.
But Maya cannot cover the soul because the soul is a spiritual thing,
Okay.
That's why you are not happy if you are in a covered position, you are not satisfied. You want to come out of it, Yes.
Yes.
So that is the point now. We're trying to follow the spiritual program to get out of this covering of Maya.
Yeah.
You understand?
Prabhuji, I have a second question. In Ramayana, Lord Sri Rama, when he is about to leave for forest and when Mata Sita is wanting to follow him, Lord Rama instructs Sita Maya that just by taking care and serving their father, your father, mother, and teacher, you can attain liberation and also the kingdom of God. So here, mother and father, I definitely understand. So which teacher is he referring to here? Is it the spiritual teacher, or is he referring to all the Shiksha gurus and also the material teachers? Like when we are materially advancing, the people who guide us, having material education, those teachers are also, is he referring, or is he just referring to the spiritual teachers, the gurus, basically?
See, anyone who is in a superior position and is giving you some instruction is treated as a guru. You understand? So that is the position. Mata, Pita, Guru, and then Devam. So therefore, anyone who giving instruction is some way the guru, correct?
Yeah.
And you should respect them. But one who is giving you spiritual knowledge, he is to be awe and revered,
Yeah.
Listen, that position is a very high position because the person is teaching you how to become Krishna conscious,
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So there are different kinds of teachers, as some are teaching you some material subjects and some are teaching you spiritual subjects. So the one who is teaching you spiritual subject is considered as a very elevated person.
Yeah. Yes. So what I understood from this instruction of Lord Sri Ram is also this, that no, not I understood. I actually wish to know from you, and I wish to understand. So is this okay when someone doesn't practices Krishna consciousness but takes care of their parents, father and mother, will also achieve the kingdom of God that he mentions that, yeah, we will attain Krishna?
One who takes care of father and mother definitely is, I wouldn't say, but if they are devotees, then yes, just like Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him to go back and take care of his parents until they leave the body. Then he came back and joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu full on. But because his father and mother were devotees, that does not mean that you don't take care of father and mother who are not devotees. But generally, that is some reverential platform where you take care of elderly personalities,
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I understand from the word devotee is the person will contain a lot of good qualities and virtues. For example, tolerance, patience, compassion, kindness, forgiveness. So if the parents are really not Krishna conscious but carry all these qualities, will also be considered devotees?
A person who is not Krishna conscious cannot have any of these qualities. That's not possible.
And what if a person is inwardly Krishna consciousness but doesn't project it outwardly, and from the qualities you see that this person carries some kind of connection with divinity within. Like I'm trying to say is you'll feel the good qualities around the person. You'll feel much calmer. Yet outwardly they don't project that they are connected with Krishna within. They remember Krishna all the time from within. Still, would they be considered devotees? Like, should one trust their feeling also, the gut intuition that we say?
A person who is chanting Krishna's name, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu classify him as a devotee. So a devotee also got different categories. He may be a third class, he may be second class, he may be first class. You understand? So if someone is in the third class platform, he may exhibit, some not so very good qualities, but it does not make him less important than someone who is actually a non-devotee, You understand? Because he is in a very high position, because he is devotee. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that anyone who is a devotee is sadhu, no? You follow?
Yeah.
So in this verse he says, even one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, is to be considered saintly, because he is properly situated in his determination. You understand? So he may have done something, some mistake, whatever, but because he is doing devotional service, Krishna considers him saintly, because he is properly situated.
Okay.
And then next says in the next verse that very quickly he will become righteous. He will quickly become righteous and attain lasting peace. So
Okay.
this is the position of a person, although he is not of high grade, but because he is doing devotional service, so he is definitely on the right path. You cannot just try to say that because he has no good quality and some karmis may have better quality, therefore they are more bad. That doesn't make sense, because the karmis cannot have good qualities at all, even mentally be seen. But because riding on the chariot of their mind, so how they can have any good qualities? You understand? You can say in this verse, it says here, all the damage. You want to read that?
Me? Should I read?
Yeah, please.
All the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, He must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man?
So you understand that?
Yeah.
So therefore, a devotee who is chanting Krishna's name, he may seemingly have some problems, but that does not make him, lesser than the non-devotee. So we have to be careful trying to, finding fault with devotees. It's not so good.
Yeah.
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 So we have to be understanding this, try to basis to not command though.
Yeah.
We do not know why the devotee is acting like that. Okay?
Prabhuji, I have been living in this confusion for the longest time, where I read also Krishna telling Uddhav in again Canto 11 about the qualities of Kali Yuga, where he's telling Uddhava that the devotees will merely be known from their external symbols, whereas there are actually no good qualities in the people carrying the outer garb as a devotee. So that's why I put this question forward about trusting one's gut intuition, because in Kali Yuga, a person may be in a garb of a devotee, but if you are connected with God very intensely and in a very intimate manner through devotional service and chanting, then your gut intuition will tell you whether this person is actually a devotee or no, being in a garb of a devotee, right? So one can avoid being cheated in Kali Yuga.
Because this impetus of hearing that you are making some judgment because you think that you are spiritually strong and getting some intuition, but this could be also be all the work of the mind. So we have to be very careful. Therefore, we have to consult Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. We will not consult our so-called, intuition. It's quite dangerous to do like that, especially in the early stage of our devotional service. It's many a times it's the speculation of our mind. Despite very careful to always associate with devotees and hear them out, in such a situation, how they should react or work or act. That will be the best protection for our consciousness. Because to rely on our so-called intuition, it could be our mind speaking to us, and the mind is very clever in finding out who is friend, who is enemy. That's the nature of the mind.
Okay.
So we have to be cautious in this.
Of course. Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, Babaji.
So you can see here in this verse. You want to read this?
Yeah. All the senses have been under the control of the mind since time immemorial, and the mind himself never comes under the sway of any other. He is stronger than the strongest, and his godlike power is fearsome. Therefore, anyone who can bring the mind under control becomes the master of all the senses. Failing to conquer this irrepressible enemy, the mind, whose urges are intolerable and who torments the heart, many people are completely bewildered and create useless quarrel with others. Thus, they conclude that other people are either their friends, their enemies, or parties indifferent to them.
So this is the nature of the mind.
Yeah.
So therefore, we do not take this very seriously. We always try to make judgment based on Sadhu, Shastra, Guru. And usually in the advanced platform, we do not want to find fault with anybody. So the time we think that others are better than us, that's the safest, and that's of course is in the first class platform. But I mean, I don't know, maybe you are, but Definitely, I'm not, and I always try to avoid to look at the faults. Safest path to go on with is
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't know,
Okay.
what offenses quite risky, is it? So, you have any more questions?
Prabhuji, why are demigods envious also? In Ramayana, I have read at a couple of places that demigods are envious and they try to create what do you call obstacles in the path of bhakti. So why are they envious, being demigods?
Because they are in the modes of material nature. That's why you can see in the mode of goodness, even it is conditioning. Although a demigod is conscious about anyone trying to supersede him and take his position. So
Yeah.
because of that, they create obstacles, and anyone who is doing a lot of austerity or sacrifices, just like Prithu Maharaj was going to do the 100 horse sacrifice, and Indra got upset, and he steals the horse away, That's there in the Bhagavatam. So that's why we have to pray to Krishna for protection, no? You understand?
Yes.
Hmm.
I just always wonder why Indra is always so insecure of his position. Although he is such an exalted demigod, why is he always insecure of his position? Why do we see the lack of faith from his side in Krishna?
Because he's not in the highest platform, he's in the material world, in the king of heaven, no?
Okay.
Got all the desires to become the controller, Understand? Whereas the devotee, they are not interested in any position and anything. They just want to be a devotee of Krishna.
Okay. Yeah.
So therefore, the position of a devotee is very exalted, They are higher than the demigods, you see.
Yeah.
That's why Arjuna was told to go above the modes of material nature, And Krishna is discouraging everyone go to heaven. Why? Because it is not a very pure place, You understand?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
therefore, the position of a devotee is very exalted,
Hmm.
Hmm?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Yes.
Hmm.
Prabhuji, one more thing. I'm going through some health challenges and I'm unable to chant 16 rounds every day, but I make sure I at least do 8. So is this okay? Because I think the health is also a priority. I don't want to do bhakti in fears, and I'm kind of
I had
here.
a heart attack. I had a heart attack and I went through open heart surgeries. Even
Okay.
after the surgery, I still chanting my rounds.
Not just being a housewife, other works are also there. So a little bit unable to.
If you wake up in the morning and you try to chant all your rounds, there should not be any impediment for you, any other work, In fact, it will give you more strength. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah, of course.
One time, Tamal Krishna went to Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada gave him a lot of work to do. And Prabhupada said, Prabhupada, I can't chant my rounds. And you know what Prabhupada told him? Said, then you eat less and sleep less, but I want you to finish your rounds. That's what Prabhupada told him. So anyway, you have to decide, because I don't see it as an impediment. In fact, it enhances you spiritually.
Yes, it does. Just being a conditioned as a woman and seeing the problems of after 45 is just that and other works as well. A lot of there's no house help here. I'm the only one who manages temple and home and cleaning and gardening and everything. That's why I just took a little bit break from chanting 16 rounds every day.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
I don't think that's a good idea. Okay. They were not authorized by Prabhupada to reduce your rounds. In
Okay.
fact, Haridas Thakur said this is a spiritual disease. If you don't complete your round, that means you have some kind of spiritual disease,
Mm-hmm.
Better to try to finish your rounds. If you cannot finish on that day, then you make up the next day. Yes.
Mm.
You wake up a little earlier and chant your rounds. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Your timing, if every morning you can do 4, afternoon you can do 4, like that you can break up and do 16 the whole day.
Yeah. Not just that some medications are a little heavy and they make me a little drowsy. And because of that, there are some days I have to skip
All
waking.
these things can be an impediment for chanting. In my experience, I don't think
Okay.
so. So you try to finish your rounds. Then you'll find that when you do that, then you'll get more strength, to do all your material activities.
Yeah, I've always noticed whenever I chant 16 rounds, there is an extraordinary strength for the entire day where I'm able to finish all my tasks and do even more than ever imagined. And that's only motivation, my history of every day as a past day, that how much I get.
Yes, you try to push yourself and you'll see, because this is all the mind, the mind is always telling you, oh, it's enough, you don't need to do more, you're tired, you're sick. That's how the mind is always talking, This is all not you. This is just like you asked me the question, is spirit is higher than matter? Yeah, this is why spirit is higher. So we have to try to push the material mind, and make it spiritual by engaging in spiritual activities. So the chanting is a must, so we cannot compromise with that. 16 is the basic that Prabhupada has given us. And Prabhupada in fact says, if you don't do 16 rounds, then you are an animal,
Yeah.
So why not get the blessing of Prabhupada and try to chant our rounds?
Because why I'm asking this is because in Shastra there's also a saying that the self-protection is our first dharma. So that also comes in my mind. Okay, so if self-protection is first dharma,
Protection is to take the order of the spiritual master as life and soul. You understand?
Yeah.
That is our number one duty. Chanting 16 round is the order of a spiritual master.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Yes, there's no other order that supersedes that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. I'm really appreciate your valuable and precious time that you gave answering all my questions.
Don't worry, you do 16 and everything will fall in place. Huh? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Always. Any other question? Have a good day, everyone. Have Hare Krishna. All right, good. It is a sin to practice on a cadaver. Actually, I'm going to be a medical student. I don't see it as a sin to practice on a cadaver. How you pronounce that word? I think that means a dead body, isn't it? Yes? So, if a person has to learn, he has to practice on it, there's no harm. I don't see any harm in it. So let us practice on the cadaver. Any other questions? Yes. Nobody have any more questions? Huh? All right, then, I guess we'll stop here then. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Prabhupada, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
very
Prabhu.
much,
Dandavat
Prabhu.
pranam, Jai Shri
Dandavat
Prabhu.
pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. All glories to you.
Hare Krishna, Manu Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Are you there?
Hey, maybe he's asleep.
I don't think so. He's here, Prabhu. No, I think okay. He's here as an host. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. So I don't know how. I'm not sure how I'm gonna quit the meeting.
I think everyone has to personally leave it.
But I think the YouTube live is going on.
Oh, okay.
I'll call Manu. Oh, has it? But in the top right corner, it says that live on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Semi Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu.
you can play a bhajan so long.
Yes, Prabhu. In 1 hour, we will have the reading session.
Oh, isn't it at 5 p.m.?
Yes,
1
Prabhu.
hour.
It's going.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Like, 3 seconds member voice and Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Vyak Prabhu, Dandat Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Yes, Prabhu. Like, we have today Vishnu member Prabhu class.
Oh, yes, Prabhu. Yes, I forgot. Okay, so we don't have reading session in 1 hour.
Oh, no,
What's
now only
happening?
start, no?
What, Prabhu?
At 7 o'clock, no? Like, for
Yes,
another,
Prabhu.
currently it will start, I think.
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
So there's no session, right?
Oh, it's starting now. Maybe. Depends on
What's
how.
happening? Is there live?
Depends.
Prabhu, you're actually still live. Actually,
Yes,
you're
Prabhu.
still live.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
I'll leave and come back and see if I'm the host then.
All right.
No, he's not the host.
Prabhu, like, the class is not there. Because
I also want to confirm.
Prabhu,
Rishikesh,
okay.
Prabhu,